My name is Steve Brandt. I'm involved with sustainable strategy development from a systems thinking perspective. And my question is based on your mentioning your involvement with public policy. And basically, we've got this election result. It looks like the economy is going to shift to a focus on sustainability. President Obama has talked about that economy creating new jobs. I heard an interview with George Soros where he said that we need a new driver for the global economy, and he proposed sustainability as opposed to just classic consumerism. So I'm wondering, how would you feel, or would you feel comfortable being out front as a CEO leader on the question of how our culture, how our economic design needs to shift from just pure, buying for the sake of buying to buying and building from a sustainability standpoint?
That's a nice challenge.
Even outside your industry, issues like infrastructure as a huge work creation program. Thank you.
Yeah, well, a great question. I think a case in point is what GE has done. I think they have found a way to build the green into their, and they built an amazing business based on, one could argue, the sustainability component of how they bring some of their new innovations to market. My response to that is we're very pleased with the election result because it aligns on many of the things we believe in. Early days to see what the implications of that are, but certainly it's not negative. Let's take that and run with that. I think we would say that we're working flat out on defining sustainability to us and understanding how we can drive that fully through our supply chain. I would say from a philosophical point of view, is we as a company happy to partner up with other companies? Absolutely. What that looks like, within 24 hours, you're asking me a lot to respond to that. But philosophically, couldn't be more pleased with where we're going.
Yeah. Aaron, John Morrison, Business Leaders Initiative on Human Rights. John, I liked your presentation, and particularly when you were talking about the role of governments stepping up on labour rights and the reference to the bilateral trade agreement with Jordan. Clearly, over the past 10 years, the US bilateral treaties have been a very effective tool, but possibly in the next 5 to 10 years, they will be less effective, maybe for two reasons. One, you gave yourself, because other markets will become as powerful, if not more powerful, than the US consumer market in years to come. And the second is, I guess there is a worry in some quarters about US protectionism and perceptions of that. So my question is, moving forward, what's the next generation, if you like, as a business leader in terms of how governments step up to the plate? And would you, your experience in Asia, for example, would you see the new Chinese labor law as an example of that? Or what does that look like? Thank you.
I like these nice, easy questions. Well, I think, yes, I do agree. One of the challenges over the last, well, not just going forward, but over the last few years has been commitment to the WTO and what that means. And I think we'd say even, and I'll be a little controversial here, I think the US has been reasonably selective how they've applied what the WTO means as well. And clearly that's caused us some challenges as we've had to respond to our sourcing base to laws being either changed or where they be applied. I think it means that companies are going to have to be very flexible. They're going to have to respond to where governments go. Now, I think all of us can play a role, as we said earlier on, in trying to influence policy. But in the end of the day, that's all you can do. You can influence, you can try to be a partner, you can have a strong voice at the table. I'm of the point of view as if we can open up the world to whatever the benefits are on an open economy, supply and demand will balance out where countries have to figure out what their competencies are, much the same as businesses are. And I think it's probably a little unrealistic to expect that every country can be a source of expertise in everything. Companies, I think, can play a role in that. Some countries are going to be good for apparel, some might be good for car manufacturing, some might be good for footwear. I think if we can link the labour standards to that, to make sure, regardless of where that is, that people are treated equally and fairly, human rights, association and education. That, to me, I think is what companies have to decide and how they can influence that. I don't think I, as a company, would want to get in and say I have a particular point of view on any one country. I'd like to see an even playing field and that we hold everybody accountable to the same criteria. That would be my response to that. I think it's more consistent, I think it's more transparent, and I think it's a better use of all of our energies.
My name is Gert Hofilen, Discovery Global Consulting. My question would be about the use of organic cotton in your products. What is the percentage of organic cotton that you employ as of today? And in the meantime, I own 3 pairs of organic cotton Levi's jeans.
Thank you.
But it was quite difficult to acquire them because I found not all of your shops carry them. And my assumption is that your customer base is not really aware of this opportunity and are not motivated enough to buy organic cotton products. So would you consider is that as part of your responsibility to communicate to your customers in a more aggressive way and to motivate them in a more decisive way to actually buy organic products? Is that part of your responsibility as a company?
Well, I think your observation is absolutely right. We've had organic cotton in our jean line for quite some time. And we've marketed the jeans. They're a terrific jean. They do cost a little more. And I think it would be fair to say we've not done a great job of advertising what the benefit of it is. We put them in our own stores and we just thought organic cotton, people will get it. They really didn't. So we've gone back and we've rethought what we need to do. It's interesting, we had a group of employees look at all our sustainability initiatives across the company. We had something like 120 different initiatives going on, but they're all happening independently. We didn't have them coordinated, centralised under a one label. And now we're sort of coming up with this reuse, reduce, recycle component as a handle, and organic cotton could fit underneath that. I think that will enable us to doing a much better job of advertising what the benefits are. So I would agree. We haven't done a great job yet. It's a very small part of our mix today. We are committed to keep organic in our jean line. By the way, not only jeans, we do it in T-shirts as well. We've done it in jackets and we're doing it in some outerwear. So you'll see it in our stores, but I think it's a fair challenge. I don't think the jean industry or even the clothing industry yet has done enough to talk about the benefits of organic cotton. So it's a good challenge back to us. We can do better. Would agree.
Okay, John, very good afternoon to you. I'm Bruce Bergstrom from Levenfang Trading. I have a question for you, and that is, how is Levi Strauss leveraging its stakeholder engagement as a source for innovation in the context of sustainable development?
Well, I think we work very closely with BSR. We're on lots of these meetings such as this. We have dedicated people within our organisation. There's a gentleman at this table here called Michael Kabori. His job is exactly that. Sustainability, the environment, and interesting enough, Michael is part of our global sourcing organisation. So he's in the business, and his job is to look at ways that we can leverage with other people to optimise what this is from growing our business and from a brand building activity. Are we doing enough yet? I'm sure Mike will be the first to say we're not. Could we partner up with other people? We're starting to. For instance, the question earlier on about cotton, what are we doing there pushing up the supply chain? We're working with Gap, some other companies and BSR to say, how can we together have more impact of pushing this up and working with some of our suppliers on a sustainability basis? So, yeah, we don't have the answers. I'm the first to admit that. We have a lot of passion, we have a lot of commitment, but we're not perfect. And come and talk to us. We'll share with you what we're doing. Go on our website and have a look at the stuff we're doing there. Take it. We have no secrets. Build on it. And bring us some good suggestions.